Hi there. My name is Steven. I'm a flight attendant, and I still love saying I'm a flight attendant. Um, Recently, I filmed a short video on Facebook about being older and some of the benefits of being middle aged or a little older, and what those benefits can mean to getting hired and being a flight attendant. And that little video was really well received, I thought. So I thought, since I have so much to say, because once you pass probation, suddenly you're an expert on this job. But I do have some experience, and since a lot of folks are getting their invitations to face interviews or to hiring events, I thought it would be timely to share a little bit of my experience and what it was like to go for my job. I went to a hiring event back in January, January 10th of 2017, and in Fort Lauderdale, and it was a long, it was a long day. I've heard that there were some people that got out by like 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. I was there from 6:15 till about quarter of 9 at night. It's a long day. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So some tips or some bits of my experience. Dress like a professional. Now, like I said, I got there early, got there at 6:15 in the morning. I think the first 10 minutes of my experience was helping a girl in front of me wrestle her blouse closed. Her blouse was gaping so badly. She did have a pin, a safety pin. So we spent the first, like literally the first 10 minutes pinning her blouse closed so that it looked neat. If you know your body, you know what to wear to an interview. If you're a girl and you're super chesty, please make sure that your top fits, that it looks professional. Um, Skin tight clothing. There were some young, attractive men with fantastic bodies at the interview, and I could tell because they're all wearing some H&M suit that fit so tightly that you could see their biceps. While it was entertaining, it wasn't a great professional look, and I didn't see many of those people continue on. One girl, she wore some sort of like tutu almost, like flared out skirt with an asymmetrical zip sweater top with thigh high boots to an airline interview. The guy behind me wore like some Indian style belt with cowboy boots. He had been to the interview a year before and didn't feel he was memorable enough. That's why he wasn't hired. I remember him. I'll always remember him for what he wore. He did not continue on. So dress like a professional. Men dress in a suit, wear a cardigan or a vest, a cardigan like a sweater vest with a tie and a shirt. Look smart. Look tailored. Look like a flight attendant without looking like you're trying to be in a costume, you know. And ladies, you've got so many choices, it's kind of astounding. I would personally be immobilized by that many choices. But dress in something that looks professional, that looks tailored. It's not skin tight, you're not showing cleavage. Whatever you feel confident in and pretty. Some people stick with the navy, black and white. Some people say, I wore fuchsia and I was hired. Whatever you're wearing, look good, look confident and polished. If you, those landing lips, those red lips that are very, very popular, if you've got those lips and that confidence and the ability to rock a red lip, wear that red lip by all means. If you are a girl with big, pretty eyes and little, slim, little lips, don't wear red. It's not your friend. I was a makeup artist for many years, and when you want to wear red, but you shouldn't, there's lots of other choices. Really play up your best feature. As a flight attendant, it's all about communication, so you might play up your eyes. Pearls. For some reason, pearls are very popular. I know about two people who wear pearls at work. I'm not sure why they're so popular. They do help in lending a more mature, confident, maybe polished look. So if you can rock it without looking like grandma, go for it. But the pearl stud, the pearl necklace, and I don't know, just it's my personal style. I'm not into it. I don't look good in pearls, so Maybe that's it. Let's see. Um, yeah, all those people who dressed clearly in an unprofessional fashion, they were caught right after the main orientation. They called people's numbers and names, and I'll tell you, they were called out of the room, which is rarely a good thing. Bring everything you need. If they tell you to bring something, bring it and bring copies. If you have not actually received your passport, but you have a receipt for your passport, make sure that that's okay when you go to your interview because I don't know who allows you to bring just a receipt for a passport. Bring your passport. So, like, if I don't know why that's so challenging, but bring your passport, bring your birth certificate, bring a copy of your social security card, bring copies of your transcripts or your diplomas from high school or college. Bring everything they tell you to bring and bring it in duplicate, like copies. Bring multiple copies of your resume and your um, reference lists or your referral lists, personal, professional. Um, 10-year work history. When I went to my hiring event, I think they've changed it since, but they at one point gave us all a work history form to fill out and they left the room. Thank God they left the room because we all pulled out our cell phones. Different companies have different ideas on cell phones. My airline apparently lately has encouraged people to take pictures. I know of them having a good time and encouraging them to share those photos on social media. I would not do that personally because it's a bad habit for me having my phone out at work. But thank God they left the room. So we all pulled out our phones so we could look up the information we need. I thought my resume was fine. I thought it was enough. It wasn't. They want every piece of information regarding where you've worked for the past 10 years, dates, locations, addresses, contact information, managers' names, phone numbers, emails. They want everything. I just had my dates of hire and my on my resume. I didn't have anything else. They want the same thing for your education, where you went to school, high school, college, include your grammar school, I don't know. But write down where you went to school, when you went to school, the address, contact information for those schools, everything for 10 years. Your personal residence, everywhere you've lived for 10 years. Your landlord, if it was just a best friend, you're staying with somebody, a roommate, everything. Um, Addresses, phone numbers, contact. And write all that stuff down. Even if you have to do it before you apply, have that with you because you never know. Um, and the hard part, the really difficult part, I would really suggest is after you do this, contact each of those individuals or organizations and say, "Hi, this is my name. This is who I am with you, or my this is my work history. Um, I am going for a job that I really like a lot. They're going to do a background check. What is the best contact information for this school, organization, building, whatever?" And include that because there were people in my training class who 3 days before graduation were still being contacted by the company, background check information company. They were still being contacted 2 or 3 days before graduation for clarification on where they lived or whatever. So go prepared. I say get there early. Start to chat with everyone, ask questions. Where are you from? Is this your first airline? I love your shoes. Anything. Airlines want gregarious people who can strike up conversations with strangers. If you can't comfortably strike up conversations with strangers and keep that going, how are you going to do your job? How are you going to keep yourself sane during a 5 hour red eye? So they want gregarious people. During every break, during lunch, and during any pee break or whatever, I found one person at the airline to chat with. I definitely took a moment to chat with the lead recruiter, and she remembers me chatting with her about she had great shoes on. She's like 4'11", so she had like amazing heels and a super cute skirt. And we had this little conversation about what she looked like, and I love your shoes. How long have you been with Spirit? You know, what is working with hiring events like? What's your favorite part? We just had a great little conversation, which she remembered 10 months later. I'll get to that later. So take advantage of those breaks and be gregarious. Be confident, participate, be a leader, but don't be a hog. You know, don't be the only one with your hand raised all the time. Don't jump to answer every question first. Don't push people out of your way to be seen or heard first. Um, Everything about our job is teamwork. And if you can't be a team player during your interview, I have to strongly suggest that you may not be cut out for this job. So it's all about teamwork, participation, and communication. Even your interview. I know in most job interviews, you're one person's hired. I used to do hiring for a small optical shop, and I would hire one person, but there would be 300 people applying for that job. It was like American Idol. In this occupation, we might have had 120 people who were offered a CJO out of 500. So teamwork, even in an interview, is important. You're not the only one being hired, and you're going to be in school and in training with these people. So again, participate and be a team. Be a team player, even at your interview. How to answer questions. Why do you want to be a flight attendant? Only you can answer that question. The joke during our hiring event was because I love people and I want to travel. That's not always the best answer, and they'll intimate that. They'll suggest that. Unless it is the right answer. If you can honestly tell them why you love people so much, why travel is so important to you, and it's going to lead to a successful career with that airline, by all means, use the answer. Um, why this airline? I used the invitation to my hiring event, which was like a 7-page document, Wikipedia, and my airline's website. I'm sorry it got so dark in here. The clouds have passed and I'm using natural light. Um, I used those three sources of information for my answer to why that particular airline. Um, how do you handle an unhappy client, customer, guest? Questions you're going to be asked with any service industry job interview are questions you're going to get. The hardest one for me was why that airline? You know, my airline is a mainline. It's a very small airline growing super fast. It's not Delta. It's not American or United. And so I didn't have the answers being, I want to work for the number one, the best, the biggest. My answers were about the company's culture. We have a very, very unusual and I think very friendly uh, culture. We talk about friends flying with friends. And we have the airline I work for, which I'm not going to tell you, and I don't speak on their behalf. I'm not talking for my airline. But we have a history of some irreverent promotions that are very funny. They've kind of calmed down on that lately, but my answers for why my airline were more personal and intimate versus how I might answer for Delta, things like that. Nervousness. It's okay to be nervous. I was terrified. I was in a room with more than 500 people. I was 47 years old, balding, big gray beard, a little bit of a belly. I'm working on that. Compared to some enthusiastic, vivacious, gorgeous 22-year-olds. I was nervous. But I was able to turn that nervousness into a very positive energy that looked a lot like enthusiasm. I pretended it was like a first date with someone I really wanted to see again. And I think even during my little face to face interview, I even mentioned something about, when they said, Hi, how are you? I said, I'm wonderful. I'm having a great time. I'm meeting so many wonderful people. This feels like a first date almost. And I really would like to have a second date with this great company, and have a relationship with this airline. And it really worked in my favor. I don't think I said anything that sounded too creepy because everything I just said could have sounded really weird. But um, let's see. Posture, smile, enthusiasm, energy. My day was 14 hours. I got there super early and I left super late. I was memorable. Apparently, I got the job because I had great posture. I was awake the whole time. I wasn't slumped in my chair, eyes rolling. Even if there were three people in a room, I still wanted to look alert, and I had situational awareness, because if it's a red eye flight and you're up in front by yourself and all you have is an airplane full of passengers who are sleeping and you got two flight attendants in the back talking, you need to really stay awake and vigilant, you know? It's important. And lastly, because this is getting a little long, I want to share a little teeny story which encapsulates all of these points. Is in October, I was hired. I was got my CJO in January. I started training on March 1st. Middle of October, end of October, I've been flying for a while, and I was non-revving from Atlanta to Las Vegas, where I'm based. And I met the lead recruiter and her assistant, and we chatted for like 3 hours. Well, I talked. I talked for 3 hours. No, but we had a great conversation, and we talked about the hiring process. And the lead recruiter said, "Oh, I remember you." She said, "You wore a navy pinstripe suit, a white shirt, and a red tie. You walked in with great energy. You smiled the whole time. You were talking. You were energetic, and you really had a great first impression." And everything I talked about really played into why I was memorable. Um, the biggest the biggest tip I think I have is to remain positive, be enthusiastic, have a good time. They're watching everything you do. Everything you do. There's someone in that room watching you. And if you can look like you're having a great time on a 14-hour day, because in the airlines, my duty day, without weather delays and things like that, my duty day is up to a 14-hour day. If you can't enjoy a 14-hour day, or pretend to, if you can't enjoy that 14-hour day with strangers, with very little food, very few opportunities to pee, no privacy or downtime, if you can't even pretend to get through that one day, you're going to struggle in this job. And they know that when they're hiring you. So remain enthusiastic, positive, participate, but don't like be a golden retriever, all over the place, running and barking. Um, I'm sure there's lots of things I could say more, but I've been talking for way too long. You are wonderful for having spent this much time with me. I appreciate it. Feel free to leave a comment if you have a tip or a trick that really felt like it worked for you. I would ask you to be nice. I see way too much negativity, backbiting, and pride. A lot of pride um, on Facebook and some of the comments I see on YouTube. So please be nice, be positive. Anything negative, keep it to yourself. If it's nasty and I have the power, I will delete it from the comments. But I really want to see what you think and hear about your experiences. So I'll see you in the sky. I'll see you with your own little wings, and fly safe. Okay? Have fun.